Hey guys, it's Jenna, the owner of Elevate in Nelson, BC. I started a lash company in my small town where the most common question was, what are lash extensions? And the first year did over $100,000 in sales. I'm here to share some little tips and tricks on how to do it yourself. What I want to talk about right now is how to pick out a lash lift solutions supplier. It's my goal that we're personally matching you with the right training and professional product lines. So check out this video to see if this is right for your studio, and if not, I'm going to give you some pointers on what to look for in a lesser expensive solution that will still serve your clients and your salon or spa or studio. And keep watching to the end of this because I've got a great giveaway, so stick with us to the end. So there are so many different lash lifts out there. We've been talking about lash lifts a lot because, full disclosure, we have launched our own lash lift product line, but it's not going to be right for everyone. So I want to give an honest rundown, especially for my students. I'm not going to give you a biased interpretation of them all. I've tried probably like so many of them, so I can give you a lot of my thoughts on this and what is best for your business from a very honest point of view, kind of unbiased, because I'll tell you right off the bat, my solution is not for everyone. It's definitely a higher end luxury solution, and some salons or studios that just might not fit in with their price points or make sense for their clientele, and so that's not going to be a product line that they really want to be bringing on. Just going to go through some of the basic things, and that is price is the number one thing that is going to dictate what you're going to be wanting to look for. You should really know your market, like sit down and think of your ideal client and what that person is looking for in their services and what kind of price points make sense for them. Generally, you can break it down into a lower end market and a higher end market. And you're definitely going to have to be catering your services and your business plan to both of them in a lot of different ways. So the lower end market, you're charging a lower price, so you're going to need to limit your time that you spend on this service, and you're going to limit the amount of product cost that you use for it to make sense. And you're also going to be wanting to limit your training time, because with a lower price point, unless you're doing a super high amount of clients and like high turnover, you're not going to be able to afford the expensive training or anything like that. And so a good thing about that is there are a lot of less expensive training programs right now because online training is becoming so popular. I would caution you that it is when you're dealing especially with lower end chemicals, the possibility of doing damage is a lot higher than using a higher end product, where those toxic or caustic chemicals are usually in lower amounts or replaced by much safer alternatives. That doesn't make sense. Everyone can't be competing for the same markets, and definitely you'll know where you want to fall in. And if so, there are some pieces of advice that I have, even if you're going after a low price point. So I would say lower price point is anything $60 to $70 and under, really realistically, for a lash lift. That is a low price point product. Please, please, please avoid Amazon products. They're usually products that are going to lead you into trouble. The supplier might not be from North America, which means you won't be covered by insurance, because to be covered under your insurance, you need to have a North American supplier. And also sometimes the integrity of those products is like a little bit suspect, especially if it's not from a really well-known distributor, which most suppliers of professional products like that are not supplying through Amazon, just because of lots of different factors. They will have their own professional product supply. At all costs, avoid the Amazon. There's lots of alternative solutions that are just a little bit more expensive, but will still be safe for your clients and somewhat consistent and also insurable. So when you are looking at those in more inexpensive products, try to look for products that are either single use, so in an individual packet, or also in an airtight pump. So that's just a little tip for you guys. So onto like more of a luxury high-end price point. So this service is going to take you a little bit longer, and it's going to have to be of high quality every time, and the consistency of this product is going to have to be of most importance. You're going to expect to spend a little bit more on your training because the level of service that you provide needs to be higher to match that higher end price point. What is a higher end price point for a lash lift? So I have seen anywhere up to $140 for a luxury based lash lift. At my studio, we charge a little bit more, around, I think it's $116 for a luxury lash lift. And then we do charge fill pricing. So for return clients who come in within 4 to 6 weeks, then we will give them a $15 discount as long as they're within that time frame. Just keeps everyone really happy, but still promotes that luxury service. But you could do that with the lower end as well, but then your profit margin is pretty low by then, so you might not have as much wiggle room there. But anyways, with those higher end products, you do have the higher expectations from your clients, and lots of those clients are well educated, and they are also willing to spend a little bit more for things like health and safety and the integrity of their lashes. They're more concerned with quality over quantity. So that means that they're probably not okay with all the chemicals that are in the other solutions. The cheaper solutions at the lower price point, they usually are processing with more chemicals, and the luxury price point ones are more processing with heat instead, because they've taken out a lot of those super chemi, caustic, and stripping chemicals and replaced it with heat. And it's a much more delicate balance when you are mixing with those less chemicals, the caustic ones that produce those really harsh, dramatic, but also stripping and caustic, toxic results. But they're not as expensive. It's much easier to develop a formula like that because these chemicals, they are just so harsh, they just do it. But they have a lot of downsides from it as a result. Like, they're usually irritants for mucous membranes, and they also break down the integrity of hair over time. So a lot of undesirable side effects. Like, someone who's going for a luxury based product or service, they want to know that they're not destroying their lashes or brows when they come in for a service. So they would be more inclined to go for a heat based treatment where those super caustic, toxic chemicals are kicked out of that solution, and they have a much more natural based lift. Our lift base is formulated out of keratin, actually the building blocks of hair. It also uses a lot of conditioning elements and the heat to do a very natural but permanent and long lasting lift that it is actually the most dramatic lift every single time, because you have zero chance of over processing those lashes. So I would say if you're trying to capture that luxury market that comes with the higher price point, do your research. And I would suggest going with a heat-based lash lift. Heat-based lash lifts are often in airtight pumps, which are very safe to use and long-lasting results, so you don't have to worry about your products going bad early. But I would recommend ordering the smaller sizes especially if you're not a really large, busy studio. So another thing to consider too is flexibility of product use. With the launch of our product line, actually there's like a sneaky little way that we can also offer a little bit of a lower price point with our current lash lift kit. And when you do purchase that lift kit, I will show you this sneaky way of offering a little bit of a lower priced, still high quality service, but just not receiving all of the extra nourishing qualities as you find in the full luxury lash lift that we have, but can help you serve a little bit of a larger clientele who maybe can't always afford the most luxury experience. So basically everything is falling into like the two categories, and I really do think you're gonna be either serving a market that's a lower price point and maybe you have a higher amount of clientele going through, or you have a higher price point and you have a lower amount of clientele but you are charging the higher price point and you're just giving a little bit more quality over quantity for each service. If you are considering changing, I wanted to do a little giveaway for you guys because we have never done a giveaway through YouTube. So I'm going to give away a free lash and brow lift kit plus the online training for free. We're going to run this promotion until the end of the month, and then the winner will be picked. And all you have to do is like and comment on this video, and for every like and comment that you leave on another one of our videos, we'll add another entry ballot for you. If you want to go even further, you can also share our YouTube content onto Instagram and tag us at elevatelash.ca, and I'll give you another entry for that as well. So this package is worth over 500 bucks, and I guarantee you are going to love this solution. If you are serving a lower priced clientele, you can also add this in and diversify your clientele a little bit more, or just offer them another choice. Some people will really see the value in offering a more natural treatment where they are getting the maximum lift every time with zero chance of damage And also you're doing yourself the added favor of removing a bunch of chemical exposure in the studio every day, which everyone's all the much better for that. Thanks so much for joining us. And if you have any other questions, I'd love to answer them. I prefer not to mention my personal experiences by name with other brands publicly, but if you do message me at elevatelash.ca, I will share my experience. If you're looking into a particular brand, and I'll be completely honest with you, because there are other brands out there that can work for people, but there are different things you want to watch out for. And especially if you're a student of mine, just pick my brain. I'm an open book and I'd love to help you out.